Look, I don't give a fuck about a racist. All right, man, welcome back, man. This is Streams episode 37. My last episode, I wanted to sit down and speak to myself. I thought that was necessary for the place that I'm in creatively right now. I feel like the last couple weeks or the last couple months of this studio thing has tested my patience, my faith. It's tested my resolve. And it's made me question whether or not this was the right path to go down. And it's made me question quite a few things in terms of music. But it's also, I've had some things happen in the last couple months that made me feel absolutely sure that this is the right path. And it's also given me almost a resurgence that I made the right choice, man. And I'm proud to say that I've stayed down all this time doing music. And it's treated me well in a lot of ways, and it's done me dirty in a lot of other ways. But we're here regardless, man. I was having a conversation with my man the other day. He was at work, and his coworkers got to talking about Quentin Tarantino. And they got to talking about whether or not Quentin Tarantino was a racist and whether or not we should support his movies, or they were saying that they don't support his movies because whatever reason, they feel like he's a racist. And the reason is, I'm guessing, because a lot of his characters, white or black, says the N-word in a lot of his movies, and he's the one writing these movies, right? And this is a conversation that's been floating around Quentin Tarantino for years. And he brought this to me like, man, how you feel about Quentin Tarantino? You think he's a racist? My initial thought, because I can't remember what my initial response was. But I do know that my initial thought was that, bro, I don't give a fuck if Quentin Tarantino is racist or not. I don't think Quentin Tarantino is a racist. And if he is, that's his prerogative. And I'll explain what I mean in a minute. But Quentin Tarantino being racist means nothing to me. The question would be, why does it mean something to you? What is it? What sweat off of your back? Him being racist, what sweat do you lose off of your back? I don't understand why people hang their hat on this who's a racist and who's not a racist thing. I'm going to explain, though. Let's just keep it in context. Let's just talk about, for the sake of Quentin Tarantino, let's just say he is a racist, okay? If he is a racist, it does not negate the fact that this man has paid millions upon millions of dollars to black actors. Jamie Foxx being one, Samuel Jackson being another. All the other black actors that this guy have worked with and put in his movies over and over again isn't negated by the possibility of him not liking black people. But the question that I would like to ask is, why would he have these black people starring in his movies if he's a staunch racist? It isn't impossible, because it could be that he knows that he could get a big box office payday by starring these gentlemen in his movies. But at the same time, it kind of makes me question whether or not you're that much of a racist at the end of the day anyway. Because if you're empowering and giving visibility to these black men to go on and use your film as a stepping stone or a launch pad to go and do bigger, maybe better projects, how racist can you be? Right? We're not going to get down to, I don't think just because he put them in the movie that he's some sort of savior or something like that, because that's not the way that I view it. My thing is, even if he's a racist, how does it benefit him to star Jamie Foxx in his movie called Django, where he's beating the shit out of multiple white men with whips and shooting other ones in the face with pistols and rifles. If he is a racist, how does that benefit him? And if he is a racist, why would he want to benefit Jamie Foxx, a black man with black daughters, in that way? By furthering his career, paying him millions of dollars, giving him visibility to go on and do more work. But let's just take the concept of racism in general, right? What I'm talking about is not racism. Racism is more like institutions. Racism is more like the act of barring someone from a part of society or a neighborhood to live in, or putting in legislation to keep a certain race of people down, right? That's what we usually associate racism with, right? The concept that black people are arguing about back and forth isn't racism. It's prejudice. It's prejudice. It's bigotry. I don't have a problem with white people not liking black people. I promise. My ideology is that what you like or don't like, one, is your right as a human being living on this earth. Two, it is none of my fucking business. What you do like and don't like is absolutely up to you. Has nothing to do with me. Because guess what? There's a whole slew of things that I don't like and do like that has nothing to do with anyone else. I don't like tomatoes. Up until recently, I didn't like onions. Should there be a group of people who do love onions marching up and down the fucking street complaining about that? No. That's not what we rally and picket sign about. We talk about institutional things, like, the fact that black people weren't able to vote up until 70, 80 years ago. The fact that we couldn't ride the bus in peace, or that we had to ride the back of the bus. The fact that we couldn't go to the schools that we wanted to go to. The fact that we were redlined out of neighborhoods. The fact that our properties were devalued because of redlining. The fact that we were over-policed. The fact that police would assault us. These are institutional things. This is not prejudice. I don't like the fact that so many black people sit around and they hang their hat and they harp on the fact that someone might not like black people. But you're talking about people that don't have any institutional power at all to enact anything that will stop or hinder your people from achieving anything that they need to achieve. Like, for instance, your coworker. You might work with a motherfucker that don't like black people. Now, just shy of him writing nigger on your locker or putting some sort of jigaboo picture in your book bag or something while you're not there or something like that, him harassing you. These are things that affect you day to day. But for me to find out that somebody might not like black people means absolutely nothing to my day to day. I don't give a fuck if you say the word nigger in the privacy of your home. You say it in front of me, that's a different story. You say it to me, that's a different story, right? But black people are too emotional talking about what a motherfucker thinks and feels in the privacy of his own life. I don't give a shit about not being liked. And that's what we need to get away from. I am not interested in being liked. I am interested in being respected, and that is the difference. Calling me nigger to my face is a form of disrespect. That is a lack of respect. That's when I will take action. But me finding out that somebody, even if I shake hands with them, even if I work shoulder to shoulder with them, finding out that they don't like black people means nothing to me. And I do mean that. Because what a man feels and believes is not my business. Just like if a person were to be Catholic versus them being, Orthodox Christian, or a person being Muslim versus them being, Buddhist, or whatever you want to choose from. It's none of my business. We're all allowed different creeds and religions. We're all allowed different dogmas and beliefs. We're all allowed different walks of faith. We're all allowed different opinions. You know, they say opinions are like asshole. We all got them, and most of them stink. You know, har. So funny, but the fact of the matter is that is true. I don't give a fuck what your opinion of people are. I care more about the character that you carry with you every day. I care more about the way that you treat people. Because guess what? The truth of the matter is that things are not black and white. Guess what? In practice, I don't really enjoy white people very much. I don't walk around and envelop my life around the concept of not liking white people, but in my experience, I've had a lot of bad ones. I've had a lot of bad experiences with people of that certain skin color. But I would be a fool and a liar to say that I haven't had a lot of good ones too. I've heard a lot of horrible stories from them making lampshades and chairs out of black people's skin and stuffing chairs with black people's hair. I've read up extensively on the history of slavery in America. I've read up extensively on the history of Jim Crow, the Jim Crow era and the laws that enabled it. I've read up extensively. I to the point where it almost feels like I carry that in my nervous system. I've experienced it to an extent because my ancestors did. I looked into my family tree and I saw that there were plenty of slaves in it. I didn't like that shit. It makes me angry, and I know who's responsible for it. Given that, I've heard stories of black men being drugged behind pickup trucks, little girls being shot in the back of the head with shotguns. I've heard stories of young men being hung from trees in the last few years. I've heard stories of people being killed in prison cells by white COs. It makes me angry. In all actuality, it makes me want to say I don't like black people. But white people, I mean. It makes me want to put my hat on that table and stay on that table. But if I'm being honest with myself, living this life for the last 36 years, nothing is as black and white as I don't like these people and I do like these people. Because the truth of the matter is, I don't fucking like some black people too. But I really don't fucking like white people. I'm going to take this phone call. Yo.
Yo, my God, what's the deal?
Shit, man, sitting here recording an episode of Streams. What's the word?
Oh, you doing another stream podcast?
Hell yeah.
I just got back on Instagram. I got to tap back into some bad boys.
Oh, okay,
I seen one of your shorts on YouTube, though.
Yeah, but I've been back for maybe 3-4 weeks, something like that.
Okay. But yeah, man, I was seeing what you had available for Sunday. Did you have something over for Sunday?
Tomorrow, you saying, right?
No, Sunday.
Oh, wait. Today Friday. I'm thinking today's Saturday. Yeah. Sunday, I'm open. Same time I was telling you. After 1 o'clock, I'm open.
All right, so about 2-3 o'clock, that'd be cool?
Yeah. Well, let's say 3 to be safe.
Okay, 3. All right, yeah, I was gonna say I think 2 hours should be enough. So 3, probably about 3 to 5. And I'm gonna send you a deposit like right now for you. If that's cool with you.
All right, bet I'll lock you in from 3 to 5 then.
All right, bet. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Yep.
Yeah. I wanted to take that call. Now, I love my people, right? But it's never as black and white as I love all black people and I hate all white people. You know, I'm not an apologist. I'm not interested in being accepted by white people. My day-to-day life does not revolve around white people at all. All I see all day long is black people, from my family, to my friends, to my neighbors, to the people in traffic, to the people in the store that I frequent. 99% of them are black. I'm not interested in being accepted or loved, or I'm not interested in being palatable for white people that might be watching this video. I'm not interested. I want to make that clear. But if I'm being honest, nothing is as black and white as me saying I love all black people and I hate all white people because history told me so. No. Fuck history telling me what to feel. History is a great informer. History is a great material to study to make an informed decision going forward in your own experience. But the truth of the matter is that I have experienced a lot of niggas that I cannot fucking stand. I don't like the things that y'all stand for. I don't like the things that y'all tolerate and accept. I don't like the fact that y'all don't even police your own neighborhoods, but then complain about the police policing your neighborhoods in a way that you don't like. I don't like the fact that a nigga can go do anything in your neighborhood, from running up in niggas' houses, killing kids, robbing kids, killing women, shooting women, robbing women, raping women, whatever the case might be. The fact that we let those things slide and we know the perpetrators by name and we don't bust their motherfucking head. That's how I feel about my people. I don't like a lot of the things that white people do. In my experience, they're conniving. They'll smile in your face and do another thing behind your back. They'll lie on your name. They'll twist stories around. These are my experiences in the workplace. They'll lie on me. They've lied on me. Not they will, they have. They will lie on you. They have lied on me. They do a lot of things that I would label as cowardly. Their power doesn't lie in physical attacks, even though they'll do that too. Their power lies in institutional attacks. They'll go to the boss because they're in good with them, or maybe they have a long tenure with them, or the company that you work for, and then they'll go and lie or make up a story because they know that their word will be accepted over yours, and then they will destroy your reputation and they will destroy your position in said company by way of destroying your reputation. I don't like that. So you know what I concluded? I really don't like people because most of you are unreliable. Most of you are unreliable. Most of you are cowards, in my experience, because I'm a straight up and down type of nigga. I talk to people straight up. If I have a problem with you, if I don't tell you directly, I'm certainly not going to go behind your back and run around the city trying to drag your name through the mud. You know why? Because that would be an admittance that I fear you, and I don't. I've never met a man that I'm afraid of. Just outside of my father, I've never met a man that I'm afraid of. Not one time have I met a man that I'm afraid of. Because upon living this life, I learned very quickly that we are all susceptible to death. You bleed just like I bleed. I don't give a fuck if you're 7 feet tall. I don't give a fuck if you got muscles stacked on top of muscles. Because all it takes is for me to cut your throat or to bust your head, and you will bleed out and pass on to another realm. Just like a nigga who's 5'2" would. Never met a man that I'm afraid of, so I do not have to lie to escape your judgment or your wrath. I don't give a fuck what you may do, because I've been ready to die. I've been willing to die. The moment that I fell in love with a woman, I knew that I was ready to die for something. And then once I had kids, I was really ready to die. I don't like people because most of them don't operate the way that I operate. Most of them operate with fear in the front part, the frontal of their decision making. They make decisions based on them being afraid of the very people that they are perpetrating against. You are afraid. So you lie, you cheat, you steal. No. I don't do those things. I've had plenty of bad experiences with black people. They do terrible business. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. This ain't a blanket statement, because if Follow closely. I'm saying there is no black and white. There are plenty of black people that do great business. I'm a black man that do great business. I go to so many black-owned restaurants or so many black-owned businesses. It might be a t-shirt company. It might be a company that do car detailing or car washes. I fucking hate going to the car washes on Livernois because these niggas are unprofessional. They're mean to the motherfucker, which puts me in a position. Am I gonna have to bust this nigga head inside of a car wash? Am I gonna have to come back up to this motherfucker and shoot this nigga for the way that he's talking to me because I'm feeling like I'm not being given the respect that I think I deserve today? I hate doing business on Livernois, going to these fucking grocery stores or these liquor stores where niggas is at. Because y'all niggas is rude. And I'm not apologizing for shit. I go into the same gas stations over and over again to the point now where I avoid these bitches and I'd rather go to a Arab neighborhood or a fucking white neighborhood to get my gas, or I'd rather go downtown Detroit than to be in the hood at a gas station because you niggas is ridiculous, dog. You will bump into a nigga opening the door. Not everybody. A lot of men show respect because they don't want to die either. And you know that if you disrespect a man, then you should be ready to die. You should be ready to die. But going into these liquor stores, niggas is in the way. Niggas is playing music on their cell phones. Niggas are loud. You smoking weed inside of a nigga's establishment where you clearly are not allowed to do that. You don't say excuse me. You don't say thank you. I go to the car wash, a nigga's talking to me like he's never been trained at home. Versus me going out to a white neighborhood where I'm uncomfortable because the police are a certain type of people and the people are a certain type of people. But then I go out there and I might go to a fucking Jiffy Lube or something to get my oil changed and the service is totally different. Now, here's the thing. I'm not a fool enough to know that just because they give me good service doesn't mean that they don't dislike me. But that's where I don't give a fuck. Because all I ask for is respect. Because as long as you change my motherfucking oil the way that you're supposed to, and as long as you talk to me like I'm a human being and you give me the respect that I command, I demand. I don't give a fuck about you not liking black people or you saying nigger in your living room or when you play Call of Duty when you go home. Now, I might not fuck with you on a personal level. I might not be friends with you. I might not shake hands or invite you to things and shake hands and make decisions that will incorporate you into my life. But I absolutely would do business with a motherfucker that I know has said the N-word before, as long as the fucking negotiations are right for you and me. And in fact, if I was to do negotiations or business with somebody that I know don't like black people, I'm going to negotiate with you to where I'm trying to get the best of the deal. It's not going to stop me from breaking bread with you. You know why? Because what you believe does not change the value on this dollar bill. If they told me that Mike Ilitch was a staunch racist and he hated niggas, do you think if he came to me and said, hey, I want Little Caesars to sponsor your studio, I'm going to be like, no, I heard you don't like black people. No, I don't give a fuck, Mike Ilitch. You cannot like black people all day long. If you're bringing me $50,000 to sponsor my studio so that you could put a Little Caesars logo up in the corner of my studio, let's do it. Because business should not be emotional. Guess what business is? Where I spend my dollar. It shouldn't be emotional. It should be about respect and ethics. It should be about the way that you conduct yourself in it. If I go to your car wash, whether you are black or white, if I go in that bitch and you are not giving me the respect that I demand, I'm leaving and I'm not coming back. And we ride through the hood all day long. Like, why is it so many black businesses closing? We need to support black business. We need to do this. The Simple reason could be, it could be institutional. We're not going to skip over that fact or that possibility. It could be institutional. It could be because the city is charging them too much in taxes. It could be that the city or whoever owns this building is charging them too much in mortgage or rent or lease. It could be that. Or let's explore the other side that we never talk about. It could be the fact that you have horrible fucking customer service, and in your customer's nervous system, it doesn't feel good to shop with you. It doesn't feel good. Every time that I go here, I feel like I'm in a fight or flight mode. Every time I come to this car wash, it feels like I might have to cuss a nigga out or fight a nigga about getting my change or fight a nigga about doing his job correctly. I tell a nigga, no, you didn't get that spot, or you didn't shine my wheels the way that I paid for it, and this nigga got an attitude. All right, he talking to me like I owe him something. The fact of the matter is, black people do not understand that the way you conduct business directly relates to the relationship that you have with your customer base and whether or not they are likely to repeat business with you. If you are not treating your customer base with respect, if you are not talking to them as if you are appreciative of their presence, they are not likely to return. My experience with white folks when I go to places that I don't like is that they'll do little snide shit like smile in your face and then go in the back and spit in your fucking food. Or they'll go in the back and talk shit about you. You know, I don't want to stereotype anybody, but if we were to simply talk about black and white people, my experience with them have been negative and positive, but they are unique in their tones. They are unique in their nature. People are different. I don't give a fuck how equal we try to force them to be. Women are different from men. Young men are different from older men. White men are different from black men. Arab men are different from Mexican men. And so on and so forth. We are different. I don't give a fuck how much SJW wants to propose the idea that we are all the same. We are not all the same. Culturally, we are different. Genetically, we are different. And because we have different cultures, the things that we deem important are different from other cultures. It's just a fact of life. You're not going to escape that fact. It isn't going anywhere. We are who we are. A person being racist will not stop me from breaking bread with them. I don't give a fuck. If you know anything about business, then you are not required to like the person you are agreeing to terms with. When you go to, let's just say you're going to Spotify as an artist, or you're going to Def Jam, or Universal, or Sony, Warner Music Group, wherever you go, you don't have to like the person on the other side of that conference table. The idea is that you want the terms of this negotiation to be favorable for you the most. That's business. You know what I'm saying? Business is where you spend your dollar. Quentin Tarantino makes movies that I like a lot. Probably 3 or 4 of his movies are probably in my top 10, 15, 20 movies of all time. If they came out today and said he's a racist, I'm not going to stop watching those movies, I promise. Now, I may find a way to stop giving him money for watching it, right? Because to me, as an artist, I understand that art is something that lives outside of the artist. Once you create it, it exists in its own right. It is not contingent upon the creator anymore. I've made songs that I don't even agree with anymore. It doesn't change the fact that someone might hear them, agree with them, and may even live their life by them. Because the art lives outside of the artist. If Quentin Tarantino came out today and did what Kramer did from Seinfeld and say, nigger, 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 I guarantee you, I'm still gonna go watch The Hateful Eight tomorrow, should I feel the need to do so. You know why? Because that movie is fucking amazing. It's starring some actors that I really respect. Quentin Tarantino is not the star of that movie. All I gotta do is go pirate it. He won't get a dime from me doing that. I may not buy a slew of his DVDs because I don't want to fund a motherfucker that don't like our people, but it's not going to make me emotional to the fact where, oh, I'm not watching, I'm not listening to none of that anymore. You know, and it's a case-by-case basis because some art has so much of that negative emotion embedded in it that you just can't entertain it anymore. Like somebody like R. Kelly. You know, because he's saying age ain't nothing but a number, and then he gets convicted, or he didn't get convicted for anything about, minors, but, the things that he's been accused of is too embedded in that music for you to separate the two, right? Because the music almost represents the fallacies or the mistakes of that man. I don't feel that way about fucking Hateful Eight or Django or Reservoir Dogs or Inglourious Bastards. I don't feel that way about that shit. Because to me, his art is impartial to one side or the other. Because yes, while Leonardo DiCaprio might have said the N-word in that movie, Leonardo DiCaprio got fucking killed in the same movie. He didn't ride off into the sunset and become the hero of the story after he said nigger 15 times and owned slaves and shit like that. He owned slaves and then he got what was coming to him and he met a horrible end in the movie. The movie isn't partial to one side or the other. In fact, it might be partial to one side, the black side. Django we talking about. That movie in particular. But here's another thing. Let's just stay on the topic of Quentin Tarantino and his movies and art in general. Art is a complicated thing. You have to do it objectively. I don't know if the word is subjectively or objectively. I'm going to be honest. I don't know the difference. I just don't. But I believe it's objectively. You have to do art subjectively, especially when you're doing it, and it's going to be consumed by a wide audience. It's going to be consumed by black, white, gay, straight. It's going to be consumed by young, old. You have to think about these different perspectives when you're producing art, especially in the movie industry. When you're writing these characters, they might be nothing like you, but you have to consider what they would actually be like. If Quentin Tarantino is writing a movie about gangsters, Italian mobsters from the 70s or 80s or 90s even, you would have to consider how they actually talk for the authenticity of this piece of work that you're producing. If I'm Quentin Tarantino and I'm writing a movie about gangsters from the 70s, I might have these characters say the N-word. If I'm writing a movie like Judas and the Black Messiah, I might write these characters to sit around in their houses in Chicago, and they might talk about white people in a way that is disparaging, and it might not be favorable to white people. You know why? Because it's fucking accurate. If I'm writing a movie like Judas and the Black Messiah, even though Quentin Tarantino didn't do that movie, I'm just referencing it, right? To go to a black movie. I might give them a certain slang or a certain accent that's accurate to the time. Shit, I'm not going to have a 2008 Grand Prix in the movie because it was in the fucking 70s and the car didn't exist. So for you to say Quentin Tarantino is a racist because his character says the N-word, it would be like being mad at a motherfucker for making a slave movie, but they not wearing Nikes. I'll wait. You think about it. Just think. Don't say nothing. Shh. 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 Just think. Should they have shot Glory with Denzel Washington wearing some fucking Nikes or Adidas or something? No, it isn't accurate. If Quentin Tarantino writes a middle-aged white man in the 70s, meaning this middle-aged white man was born in the 20s or 30s, when white people did not like black people in mass, you're surprised that he's saying nigger in the script? Quentin Tarantino is clearly inspired by blaxploitation movies. Clearly. I'm going to answer this call. Yo.
You said you were free earlier, right? Can we go at 8 or no?
Yep, if you're ready.
Yeah, bet. All right, we'll pull up at 8 o'clock then.
All right, for sure.
All right, bet.
Yeah.
I guess, you still doing the 50 an hour, right?
Yeah.
All right, bet. Let's see. So we good now, because I already sent you got the deposit, right?
Oh, so you're saying you want to do 2 hours now?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I got the deposit. I got it.
Yeah, all right, bet.
All right, bet. Yeah. Quentin Tarantino writing a character in the 70s in a blaxploitation inspired movie. You niggas are surprised and you're going to crucify him for having a character say the N-word. Now, he does have characters say the N-word a lot in his movies. But does the means justify the ends? I would say it does. Because one, he's one of the greatest directors in Hollywood. Two, the movies are, they're accurate. They do not seem out of place, out of character. They do not seem weird. They seem pretty fucking accurate. I understand black people's obsession with not being humiliated or disrespected publicly. You don't want a sportscaster saying nigger in the middle of a broadcast. Totally understand that. That's not being emotional. That's demanding respect on a world stage because this is being viewed by millions of people and we cannot allow a motherfucker to say nigger on a platform that big. But if we found out a nigga said nigger in the privacy of his own home, I'm going to just be honest. It is your right not to fuck with them going forward. It might be Donald Sterling. You might not watch his team anymore. It might be Quentin Tarantino. You might not watch his movies anymore. But you cannot get overly emotional and try to cancel somebody or whatever just because they don't agree or live the way that you live. They don't agree with the things that you agree with, or they might not even like you. What you do with that information is totally up to you. But we have to stop caring so much about if we're liked. It's not about like, it's about respect. Respect could be political. Respect could be business, financial, commercial. Respect could be anything that you deem it to be, right? But you have to stop hanging your hat on being liked. You're not going to be liked by everyone. You're not liked by your own people. I guarantee it. Hang your hat on respect. I'm done. Fuck out of here.